Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. Thank you for your continued support, and if you're watching for the first time, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I do my Q&A. People send in questions to twitter.com/AaronRift. I answer the questions to the best of my ability. Now with that being said, let's get right down to your questions. First one today comes from Harvey. Could you see Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon at Survivor Series, or at least them in the Raw and SmackDown teams? I would not rule it out. I would say there's always a possibility of this happening. With that being said, I think that WWE might want to keep Kurt Angle away from the ring as much as possible, in a sense of keeping him fresh, making him like Brock Lesnar, a special attraction. If Kurt Angle starts wrestling every single month, first of all, it's going to put him more at risk. He should have breaks to be able to allow his body time to heal. And in addition to that, keeping him off television, saving his appearances for every couple of months, it makes those appearances all the more special. It's best to have Angle just wrestle every couple of months. Maybe the original plan was for him to be at Survivor Series, who knows? But regardless of the case, he just had the match at TLC. I think that it's more likely we'll see Angle either at the Royal Rumble, or WWE even waits longer than that and lets him heal up and prepare for WrestleMania. That's my guess at this point, but I would not rule anything out. It's certainly a possibility he could be added to that match, but I think it's more likely WWE holds off on him until next year. Got this one here from Samish. Do you think kayfabe is required sometime? A monster suffering from meningitis? How stupid does that sound? I'm not sure what else WWE could have said in this scenario. It was very common knowledge on the internet that Bray Wyatt was sick. What do you do on television to explain his absence, that he's not there? Does he just disappear? Does he just no-show? How do you explain it to people in a storyline, especially on short notice? Now, perhaps WWE had some time, and if the creative team was better, they could have come up with something compelling and something that would at least make somewhat sense to explain him not being there for the scheduled match, but they just decided to not lie about it and say outright the guy is sick. And at the end of the day, we all know wrestling is scripted, it's entertainment, and I think for most fans that's fine. The guy got sick for real. It happens. Yeah, it is a little bit of an issue because you're trying to suspend disbelief, but let's face it, this Bray Wyatt Sister Abigail thing isn't very believable to begin with. It's not like we're all invested in this and feeling like this is real life and he's really this alter ego and all that stuff. So it's not that big of a deal in my opinion, but I get what you're saying, and I think if you can think of something in a storyline to explain the absence, I think you should. But I think in this case, WWE was fine in just announcing that the guy is sick. And it's not like that character is red hot. Otherwise, maybe it would have been a bad idea. But I think what they did was fine. Got this one here from Laura B. Do you think that even if Roman Reigns was not sick, Kurt Angle would have participated in the match? I don't think so. All the marketing was for the Shield. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. I don't think WWE was going to add a fourth person to that match. I think the plan all along was for the Shield to win. This was their big comeback, and this whole thing was designed to help get Roman Reigns over more as a babyface. I don't think Angle would have been added to the match as a fourth person, because the Shield reunion, that is the selling point of the pay-per-view, and you want to save Kurt Angle. You don't want to have him come out there unannounced with no hype if you can help it. You want to save Kurt Angle and build up his return and make a big deal out of it, and not do it on the same show as a Shield reunion. So I really don't think that was ever the plan for Kurt Angle to come out there and get involved in the match as a fourth participant. This one comes from Nikki. Hey Eric, do you believe we will still see the Shield reunion despite what happened the past few days? Maybe at Survivor Series or Royal Rumble? Yes, I do. Once Roman Reigns comes back, I think we will in fact get a proper Shield reunion match. Now, there is no December Raw pay-per-view. I believe it's Clash of Champions for SmackDown in December and then the Royal Rumble. I don't know what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. If WWE is perhaps building up Roman Reigns for a Royal Rumble victory, and I really hate to say that, but it would not shock me if that happens. Maybe they'll do something on Raw, but I think we will get some sort of match where the Shield is fully reunited and they have a match, a proper Shield reunion with all three guys in the ring against a top team, a top 3-person team or 4-person team or 5-person team, whatever. But yes, I do think it will happen. The Shield as a unit, those guys are scheduled for matches coming up in December through the end of the year. So I definitely think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Got this one here from Turbonius. Any chance we could see the Balor Club versus the Shield in the future? I don't think so, because I believe this Shield reunion is going to be brief. While I do think they will have that match where they're all together, I don't see it going past the Royal Rumble. I think after the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns will be back off on his own and WWE will be building him up for WrestleMania. Plus, you have AJ Styles on SmackDown, and right now you have SmackDown feuding with Raw. I don't see a Balor Club being formed, or you mentioned the Balor Club, and I was talking about AJ Styles, so my brain is fried right now. But Finn Balor and the club, Anderson and Gallows, I don't think that those guys are going to be teaming together anytime soon. Anderson and Gallows are heels and Balor's a babyface. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, it would be something different since we already saw the Shield versus the Miz and the Miz's group. It would be nice to have the Shield versus another team. So maybe the Balor Club would be a good idea, but unless you have Balor turn heel, which I don't think is going to happen right now, I really don't see the point in doing that. And plus, people will just complain because in the end the Shield will win and the club will lose and everybody will say the club's getting buried. So it's like it's a no-win situation for WWE. So I don't think it's going to happen. I would not rule it out completely, but my gut feeling is we're not going to see it anytime soon, if ever. This one comes from Josh. Would you rank the Shield's entrance from Raw in Portland as one of the top 10 biggest pops you've ever heard? It sounded like a major pop. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think it was a good reaction, but it wasn't like it was among the biggest reactions, top 10. That's hard for me to say because I would really have to think about it. I'm not sure if it would be top 10 or top 15, maybe top 20. I just remember a lot of pops during the Attitude Era being way bigger than this, quite frankly, and even some of the SummerSlams from 2009 through 2014 at Staples Center, like CM Punk, would get amazing pops, and I think that those were pretty much bigger than all the Shield reactions from what I can remember. The Shield reaction in Portland was good, but I don't think it was really overwhelming, like the crowd was just going completely insane. They were into it, definitely, but I don't know if it was the top 10 for biggest pops I've ever heard. And I remember a couple of Raws with Steve Austin, and the Shield cannot measure up to Steve Austin, or even The Rock. You know, when The Rock came out there and called CM Punk, that was a huge pop. That was back in February at Staples Center. So now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it's top 10, but maybe top 20. This one comes from Walter. Do you think that Kevin Owens could possibly be overshadowing Sami Zayn or be overshadowed by Sami Zayn's heel turn? Meaning all the attention will be on Zayn now. Not necessarily. I think it's a good thing, though, if Zayn can get equal recognition and be at an equal level as Kevin Owens. I don't know if he'll eclipse Owens. I mean, that would be awesome for Zayn if he could do that to the point where fans are paying more attention to him than Owens. So far, Zayn is doing great. I have to say, I feel like the heel turn is working so far. Just him doing this really over-the-top, obnoxious character. I mean, when he's out there doing his promo with Shane, I want to punch Sami Zayn in the face, and that's a good heel. That is an effective heel. A guy that can get you so annoyed that you want to see one of the other wrestlers beat him up so bad. And I think Sami Zayn is pulling it off so far. So hats off to him, and I think he's doing a tremendous job. The question is, can Kevin Owens step up his game as a heel? Because Owens, a lot of times, he doesn't really get the really big heel reactions. I remember when he did the split with Jericho, he got that reaction, but a lot of the time, the fans cheer for Kevin Owens, and it's hard for him to get the heat. It seems like for Sami Zayn, he's hitting all the right notes, and he knows what to do to make his character obnoxious and annoying and get fans to boo him. So we'll see. Maybe this is a positive in the sense that if it does happen, Kevin Owens will step up his game and he'll be even more of an epic heel and just really go all out and try to get the fans to hate his guts. Got this one here from B Money. What was the reason Stone Cold missed the Taboo Tuesday pay-per-view in 2005 and was replaced by Batista to face the coach? I do not recall exactly what happened, but I believe it was something creatively. Steve Austin did not like the direction of the match and where it was going. You might have to ask him directly about that. I did hear some rumor that he was perhaps going to be putting over the coach and wasn't a fan of it, but again, I don't really know. So that might be a question better ask to him directly and see what he says about it. Maybe he has commented on it before, I'm not sure. If he has, you guys can leave a comment in the YouTube section and give B Money that direct answer if Austin did in fact address this at some point. He might have on one of his podcasts, I don't know. This one comes from Jared J. Smith. Hey Aaron, in your opinion, what was the best debut of a monster heel character? It's gotta be Kane. It's gotta be Kane. Seriously, Kane's intro at the Bad Blood pay-per-view in 1997, that is how you debut a monster. There was all this build-up and hype for it, and then when Kane came out, Undertaker was just completely shocked by it. Kane ripped open the door. You had Vince's commentary. Kane laid out the Undertaker, and then Shawn Michaels, who had been beaten to a bloody pulp by Undertaker, had put one arm over Undertaker and scored the victory in that first Hell in a Cell match. What a tremendous way to debut Kane and let everybody know that this guy is the real deal. In one night, Kane had instant credibility. It has to be that. A close second for me would be Big Show's debut at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, coming from under the ring and throwing Austin into the cage, and the force was so great that it broke the cage and Austin fell to the floor and won the match that way. So I have to say Kane and then Big Show. And you could even say Undertaker too in 1990 when he debuted at the Survivor Series. That was a great debut as well, coming in there and just destroying people left and right. Coco Beware, Dusty Rhodes, and I think he finally got himself counted out or DQ'd or something. But that was a great debut as well. This one comes from Eric. Greetings, Aaron. Since Halloween is coming up next week, which horror icon would you like to see appear on WWE just for fun? Well, you got Freddy Krueger in your avatar picture. I'd love to see Robert Englund on Monday Night Raw as a guest star. You know, that would be really cool. With Halloween coming up and doing a Halloween-themed show, why not bring in an all-time classic horror character? I'd love to see Robert Englund come up on Monday Night Raw, come out there and wear the Freddy makeup and do the whole routine on Raw. That would be incredible. I would love to see that. Maybe even Kane Hodder. The only problem with him, you know, Jason Voorhees, the guy who plays Jason in Part 8, Part 7, and Jason Goes to Hell. I think Jason X too. I think he did 4 of them. But the problem with him is that he is a big dude and he might actually overshadow a lot of the wrestlers, so maybe that's not a good idea. But I think having Robert Englund out there as Freddy Krueger, that would be something else. It's just a matter of getting him. You know, I don't know if he has anything to promote, but that would be a lot of fun. I would love to see that happen on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Got this one here from We Want Edge. Hey Aaron, which finisher do you think has become the most obsolete after many superstars kicked out after it's been hit? I think the obvious one is the super kick, because pretty much everyone's doing it now. When Shawn Michaels did it, the match was over. That was it. But now you have the Young Bucks doing it, you have Dolph Ziggler doing it, and it's almost like it's just a regular move. It's not a finisher anymore, it's a signature move. And that's what people try to say now. They're not finishers, they're signature moves, and people kick out of signature moves, but a signature move is something that is done every match that people are familiar with. So I guess there is a difference between a finishing move and a signature move, and I guess the super kick is now a signature move of a bunch of people instead of being a finisher move. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of finishing moves though, because pretty much every finisher gets kicked out of now these days. I mean, the AA gets kicked out of all the time. Even the F5 people kick out of. And on Raw this week, when Balor lost to Kane, Kane hit 3 choke slams to win. So you do have a situation now where the finishing moves have definitely lost some value, especially when you have multiple guys doing the same move. And it's not really unique. The move loses its uniqueness. Got this one here from Alex. Given the last year, would you say that Alexa Bliss is a dominant women's champion? Absolutely. She has been one of the best overall performers in WWE this past year. Especially since moving to Raw, she has really been able to shine and be one of the top superstars in the company. And she's had a very solid reign as champion. So yeah, I would definitely say she's one of the most dominant, which is really something else considering, you know, she's not as physically intimidating as some of the other women, yet she manages to have that credibility as champion and people are taking her seriously for the most part. Yes, there are the fans that do the occasional what chant, but I think they're just doing that at her because she's a heel. I mean, she cuts great promos too. She's good in the ring and she can talk, and that's definitely a winning formula when you can do both. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thanks as always for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, please share it on social media. Tell your friends, tell your family, anybody you know who watches WWE, have them check out NoDQ Video. I will have another video coming up this weekend, another edition of NoDQ Video. Also stay tuned this weekend for Wrestling Trivia Challenge, the NoDQ panel, and maybe some other stuff as well. NoDQ.com, YouTube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Keep the questions coming in at Twitter.com/AaronRift, and I will see you guys next time.